I've been playing Spiritfarer here and there. As we kind of discussed before recording, every time I sit down to play this game, I magically start to fall asleep. And it's not a indictment against the game or anything. It's just that I'm waking up at 4:30 in the morning, and I don't get the chance to pick up the controller until about 8. And yeah, so
Well, it's that, and you're also discovering that this game is a little bit more laid back than originally anticipated.
it is. When we talk about games that are enchanting, this game definitely fits that mold. The art style is stunning. The graphics are beautiful. The music and the sounds very fitting, for the style that they're presenting. But what I've come to find is that this game is a far more casual game than I was anticipating. The general gist of Spiritfarer is you're playing a character who takes the role of basically guiding souls to the afterlife, right? So I think the in Bible mythology, or I don't know, I'm not up to like my religious mythology, but is it Charon that guides people to the afterlife?
I am lost, my friend.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. I'm terrible at this, but basically, the game begins and you're on this boat, and in front of you is this gate to the afterlife, and across from you is essentially a demon, right?
Okay.
And he's the ferry master for the deceased to cross from death to the afterlife. And it's unclear whether he's dying or retiring, but he's not going to do it anymore. And he gives you the power to do that. So you play a character named Stella, who has a companion that's a cat. The cat, I believe, has a name as well, Daffodil. And the two of you start encountering these spirits while you're using your boat to traverse this world. And as the story unravels, all of these spirits that you encounter, they know you from real life. They know you from when you were alive. Either they're family members, either, aunts or sisters or friends or cousins or whatever, right? And basically, they start to give you a series of quests to, I assume, ultimately lead them to a point where they're comfortable crossing over.
Okay.
I have not reached that point with any of these characters yet. A lot of these quests are pretty basic in nature, but they become more expanded. So, for example, one character just recently asked me to build them a house. So on the boat, you build like a house, a kitchen, a farm. There's a foundry. There's like a place to weave, like silk or clothing or things like that.
Sure.
Fabric. So you build like a guest house to start. You build a garden, and then you build a field. In the garden and the field, you can plant seeds and grow different items, and it could be something like corn or carrots, or it could be coffee or linen. You use the linen to make fabrics. Corn, coffee, you cook them, and then you feed them to these creatures that are trying to cross over. And each creature has a favorite dish. Each creature has a dish they dislike. And it's up to you to kind of figure out what they like and what they don't like. And they have like a happiness meter that you're trying to manage at all times. And it could be something like giving them their favorite food. So one character really likes desserts. So if I take a strawberry and I turn it into a pie, well, now that's like 2 points of happiness rather than 1.
Huh.
And then you can, accomplish tasks for them, like building them their own personal home rather than insisting they live in the guest house, which will advance their quest. You can have conversations with them and learn more about them. You can hug them, which gives them happiness. And I gotta say, this game does hugs really fucking well.
Wow,
And
that's not something you hear every day.
It's a really weird sentence to say.
Very.
But this character, like, fucking, she just leans right into it. And when Stella gives a character a hug, she's got this big grin on her face, and she just wholeheartedly goes right in, and you see this moment of hesitation in the person she's hugging, and then they just, like, melt around her. You know how, like, you have somebody that's just having the worst possible day? Like, you're having a shitty day, and your wife comes up to you and just gives you the best fucking hug.
Oh, dude, it solves everything.
It solves everything.
Nothing beats a fucking really good hug, dude.
Agreed. And every time I see Stella give one of these characters a hug, like, I feel that, man.
That's awesome.
It seems so genuine, and I've never seen anybody even attempt to relay that sort of emotional response in a video game. You know, it's always either conversational or sexual. Right? You never see a developer try to relate just the act of just hugging somebody. And they nailed it.
Yeah, you know what? That's really refreshing to hear, especially in the times that we live in now, right? I mean, this is like, that's one of the last things that we want to do with our pandemic. So to experience like something like that in a virtual world, I think that's great.
Yeah, it's very refreshing. It absolutely. So as you're accomplishing these tasks for these characters, building the house, making the boat bigger, like, so it becomes a natural progression. So you build the guest house, but you need certain items to build that house. So you have to go and find those items in the world. So you're landing on islands, and maybe there's a tree you could chop down, and then later on you can get a sawmill that you build, and that tree can be turned into planks of wood. And there's different types of wood from different types of trees, and certain blueprints for certain houses use certain wood. So maybe one's maple, one's oak, and you have to find the island that has the oak. And then you build that house, and then the character's like, oh man, I really wish I had like a pork chop. I'm not making that up. That's an actual quest that I'm on right now. I have to go find a fucking pork chop. And like, I haven't figured out where to find that yet, because it's not, it's not black and white. Like, maybe that's something that I haven't uncovered yet on the map. There's a lot of islands that have, like, question marks over them. So you don't really know where you're going. A lot of this is very whimsical and exploratory. The thing that I'm running into is that there doesn't seem to be any pressure for me to complete any of this on any kind of given time frame.
Like an incentive.
Not really.
Okay.
I have all these characters whose ultimate goal will be to cross into the afterlife. I don't know when that will be. I don't know how that's going to happen. But, over the course of accomplishing each one of their quests, I'm juggling the size of my ship. I'm juggling, 3 or 4 different quests at a time, and none of them have any sort of a timeline on when they need to be completed. So there's no failure.